Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Sydney, for that introduction. Over the course of the next 35 minutes or so, what I would like to do is start with the first slide, which is my own problem. So let's get set up here. What I'd like to do is talk you through the phase that we're at as far as the ISO 9001 2015 revision is concerned, to maybe give you some insights as to what we know and what we don't know. Obviously, the first thing I have to do is give a disclaimer. What I'm going to talk to you about is my own views. I hope they represent the views of ISO, but they certainly shouldn't be taken as doing so. The other is to alert you to the fact that the revision of 9001 is not yet complete, so don't go running away making drastic changes to quality management systems or anything based on what I'm going to comment today. The other thing I'd just like to comment is that ISO does not require management system certification. Certification is one way of demonstrating conformity to a standard. There are many certification bodies around the world, among them DNV, and I'm very grateful to DNV for giving me this opportunity to speak to a number of interested parties. I believe we've got almost 1,000 people on the line from around the world. It's a great opportunity for me to be able to give you the information pretty much straight from the horse's mouth. But please keep in mind that this forms a part of a more all-embracing communications strategy that we have within SC2, the subcommittee, to reach out to the users of our standards around the world, to make sure that they understand what's going on, they know what we know, they know what we don't know, and together we can reach the publication a couple of years from now of a robust standard that will take us well into the 2020s, possibly even as far out as 2030, which is a little bit frightening for some of us. Not sure if I'll be around. Certainly won't be around TC176 by the time this next standard comes to the end of its useful life. So as far as the outline is concerned, I'd like to give you a little bit of background, my own personal take on what is a quality management system and the concepts that we're trying to get across. I'll talk about the much commented Annex SL, the ISO directives for alignment and harmonization of quality management system standards. And we'll dig a little bit deeper into ISO 9001 2015, what you can expect. Talk about the transition arrangements for certification, and then hopefully have some time for some questions and answers. So let's start with a little bit of background. This is TC176. This is part of the alphabet soup that we have. We have so many acronyms, but just so that you know, ISO Technical Committee 176 has the overall responsibility for quality management and quality assurance. Within the Technical Committee, there are 3 subcommittees. Subcommittee 1 has the responsibility for the Fundamentals and Vocabulary Standard, ISO 9000. The subcommittee which I chair is officially called Quality Systems. We are responsible for ISO 9001, 9004, and a number of other, not only standards, but much of the information that you see on the ISO website has been developed by what was the predecessor to our communications and product support working group. We also have a working group under our responsibility for issuing of interpretations. That group tends to be very active soon after a version of the standard is published. So that group was very active in the early 2000s, in the 2008-2009 timeframe after we published the 2008 version. And we expect that group to be very active again once we've published the 2015 version. Working Group 24 is where all the heavy hitting is being done on the current revision to ISO 9001. Just to give you an idea, Working Group 24 currently has around about 80 or 100 members who are experts nominated by the ISO member bodies from around the world. They're people like you and me. I suspect we may even have one or two of them on the call. They're people from industry, people from certification bodies, people from government, some consultants, representing really a good cross-section of individuals with good sound background knowledge. Not, as some people would like to imagine, a group of Machiavellian characters sort of wringing their hands behind the scenes and saying, now how can we make life more difficult for everybody, and what new requirements can we slip in there to complicate life. Actually, very much to the contrary. We want to keep things as simple as possible and at the same time ensure that the standards that we write achieve their objectives. And then finally over here we've got Subcommittee 3, which is responsible for the various supporting technologies, the ISO 10013 documentation standard, 10012 for measurement systems, and so on. The overall scenario of TC176, our remit is to develop generic quality management system standards. All market sectors, public, private, large and small. And as Sydney mentioned earlier, we currently, I'm the optimist, I say around about 1.2 million certificates worldwide. But equally, as I'd mentioned, it's important for us all to recognise that this is about more than just certification. And my subcommittee recognises that ISO 9001 certification should be the result of a well-implemented quality management system, not an end in itself. What we want is to encourage, stimulate, and provide the tools for organisations to be able to put in place a good system that meets their objectives, that meets the objectives of their customers. And as a result of that, in principle, they should be able to achieve certification from any competent certification body. We do have other TC176 products, guideline standards, website collateral, a number of other tools that we have to assist organisations to improve their quality management system. And over the last few years, we've been engaging more and more with the certification community in the form of the International Accreditation Forum and others to defend the ISO brand. Because whether we like it or not, folks talk about and will continue to talk about ISO certification. So they don't say, do you have a quality management system that has been audited and certified as being meeting the requirements of the standard by DNV or by any other certification body, and are they accredited? Quite often people use that shorthand, are you ISO certified? And so that whole mechanism of the certification process is very, very important to ISO in order to be able to defend the good name of ISO. The vision of SC2, when I took over as chair in 2010, we spent quite a lot of time doing strategic planning, and among other things, we came up with vision and mission statements, or renewed vision and mission statements. And our vision is that our standards, primarily 9001, 9004, are recognised and respected worldwide, and we want to retake some of the ground for people to recognise that quality management systems are an integral component of sustainable development. That sustainable development is not the domain exclusively of the environmental and the social people. That quality management systems have formed a solid basis and will continue to form a solid basis for sustainable development initiatives. Our mission. First part of our mission, nothing about certification. Our mission is to develop, maintain and support a portfolio of products, standards, guidance, documents and so on, that enable organisations to improve their performance and to benefit from the implementation of a robust quality management system. Of course, the ISO 9001 is the most important of all the standards that we produce. It's also ISO's best-selling standard of all time, and that standard aims to establish a generic requirements to provide the foundations to build confidence in goods and services delivered throughout the supply chain to organizations and to individuals in the form of consumers worldwide. And then finally, we want to provide guidance and support where needed to ensure the continued credibility of our products. So let's start off just reminding ourselves, what is a management system? A management system is a system to establish policy and objectives and to achieve those objectives. In other words, it should be results focused. And we'll see a little bit later on, one of the things that we've been working very closely with the IAF on over the last few years is to focus people's minds on the fact that a good quality management system has to be effective in providing confidence in the goods and services that the organisation is delivering. If it's not doing that, then something is wrong. So if we put this in a sort of figure that as quality professionals most of us are very familiar with, the good old cause and effect diagram, we've got all this good stuff going on within the quality management system. Hopefully we've got top management commitment, we've got competent people, we've got the documentation right, we've got internal audits, management review, and all of that good stuff. And that's great. But the question we have to ask is the result of that, is the output of all of that, consistent, conforming product that is being developed and delivered to the customers? If it's not, then something within the various elements here of the cause and effect diagram, something is not working, and we need to address that. So a good quality management system is about more than just having the procedures in place and the manuals, the meeting the individual requirements of the standard. My understanding, and this is based on the 30-odd years that I've been involved in quality management, if we take it right down to the basics, 3 core concepts for any management system. First, we need to identify the processes that are needed to achieve the planned results. Now, those processes are part of the